Nothing can replace our conference. Make sure you go to conference. Nothing can replace boot camps. If you guys have never been to the Paget Farm, go. If you've never been to Peachtree or Las Vegas for a boot camp, go. I totally encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. Pay the money, go. It's totally worth it. You're investing in yourself and your business. But an event like this has its own kind of special. And we're really thankful that you guys are willing to roll with us. All right, so let's talk about why people start this business and what happens after they get started. Because we all say, oh, it's easy, you just start them and you just duplicate. But no, there's a really tricky piece to this. We all start this business for one of two reasons. Either we're inspired. Courtney told you she just really wanted to buy fancy designer shoes every month without asking permission from anybody to spend the money. Or they start this business because they're desperate. I was the desperate girl, okay? I was in an incredibly desperate place 6 years ago. We had a lot going on. I'm a special education teacher by trade. I had been teaching in the Charlotte, North Carolina area for over 20 years. I was working way too many hours. My husband had been ill and had been on disability for a long time, but we didn't really have disability benefits, so that didn't go so well for us. So I was teaching full time. I was tutoring 20 to 30 hours a week out of a home-based practice, and I was spinning like the Tasmanian devil. We were way in over our heads financially, and not because we took fancy vacations and drove really hot cars. We were in over our head because of experimental medical treatments that weren't covered by insurance and by the economy, tanking and hitting us hard, like right in the face with a 2x4. So I would love to say we were the American dream, but instead I think we were the American story, so to speak. And I had 3 kids that were sick all the time with strep and pink eye and other kid funk. And that's where we were. So that's exactly where I was. The last straw happened for me the same week I heard about Juice Plus. It was the same exact week that my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic cancer. Any of you that were just at conference, I just told my NMD speech recently, and so you'll know this story. It may sound familiar to you, but boy, that diagnosis brought me to my knees. And I knew down deep in my heart that there had to be some way that I could have some more freedom. There had to be a way that Sean, my husband, and I could have some financial freedom. There had to be a way that I could have more time freedom, because my mom and dad were in South Florida and I was in North Carolina working 60 hours a week. I did not have the freedom to get up and go down and be there with him for his chemo treatments, to support my mom and help her with errands. I didn't have the freedom to do that financially or with time. And so when I met Courtney and I was introduced to Juice Plus, I knew I needed to jump on. It was a matter of life and death for my father. It was a matter of life and death and health for my husband, who had a horrifying immune system and massive widespread chronic pain. And this business, I didn't have any clue, was a way out. So if you can picture me starting this business, totally desperate for more income, totally desperate for more time in my life. But I started this business in the absolute worst case possible. Not only was I 100% desperate, but I was an extrovert. And there is a really scary combination when you start this business as an extroverted, desperate person. Because what you do is you dump your purse out. You guys know that phrase? You know what that means? So, like, say somebody says to you, gosh, do you have a piece of gum? And you reach in your purse and you say, sure, here's the gum, and you give it to them. And what if you said to them, geez, do you have a little bit of Advil? And they go, sure. And they take their huge purse, and it's a Coach purse. It's Kate Spade. It's really nice. And they take that purse and they dump it out over your head. Okay? I was the purse thumper. I was the Juice Plus vomiter. And so what I did was I told everything to people all at once. And so what I learned over that time frame is what I want to share with you today. I learned that the conversations we have with people matter. They really, really, really matter. Let that sink in. We are not just trying to spew as much as we can to as many people as possible. We're looking to have meaningful, heartfelt conversations with a lot of people. That's where we can weed out who are the right people for us to be talking to, who is philosophically aligned with our mission and they want to join our team. So here I am as an extrovert. I'm chatty, I'm animated. I always have something helpful to add to conversations, and you would think that that would be super super beneficial in a business like this. Now, if you are introverted, I can't tell you how many times I have heard people say, I couldn't do this business, I'm not like you. I'm not extroverted like you are. I don't have the skills to talk to people. Well, let me tell you, it's the introverts that have the leg up. It's the extroverts like me that don't have the edge. We are the ones that need to learn a completely new language. For me, it was like learning how to speak Greek. It really was different. I had to realize deep down in my soul that I had to learn a completely different communication realm with people. I have had to learn a totally new language. I've had to learn a couple things. I've had to learn to pipe down. Just pipe down. I've had to learn to stop adding my 2 cents to every single conversation I'm in. I don't add it because I think I'm a big fat know-it-all. I add it because, I don't know, I just can't help it sometimes. I don't add it because I think I'm so interesting or because I think I have the right thing to say. I don't know. Sometimes extroverts just really want to get in there. I had to learn how to actually physically start counting how many times other people speak in a group conversation. I had to learn that if I'm in a group setting, or I'm at a training, or I'm at an area where we're raising our hand to give input, I have to count 1, 2, 3, up to 5 times before I can raise my hand and give some input. It's not fair. I can dominate a conversation very quickly, and it's not respectful to the people around me. And I've had to learn to listen. I've had to learn to really process the information that other people are saying, because what you guys have to say and what our potential customers and team have to say is valuable. And it's the key to help us direct the next part of our conversation. Their responses are what lead the conversation to its next destination. Okay? So I have totally, once I got a grip on this a little bit, I started to go, wow, this is fascinating to me, and this is a little bit like a science experiment. I need to keep my eyes peeled and figure out. And it was a big challenge for the first couple years of this business. It made me really stop and assess myself a little bit and start to pay attention to people. I was living in this really egocentric world where I just had so much to say. And I needed to learn that if I could get in to people and I could come from my heart space instead of my head space, I was going to go a lot farther. And I'll tell you, this has made me a better friend. I feel like it's made me a better mom. Kaylin has it. My daughter's here. Yes, she's saying yes. I feel like it's made me a better person. It's made me a better leader. And so these are just some skills that I want to share. I've spent time in this community with incredible people, and I have gleaned so many amazing keys for communication with others that have served me really well through my walk up to National Marketing Director. And most of these skills, I'm going to tell you, they go directly against my nature. So for all of you introverts out there, you are the ones who actually have the edge, the Jen Owens of the world. But you outgoing folks like me, I want to tell you there is hope for you. You can do this too. So I remember when I was shooting for my VF Fast Track, and everybody I was getting on the phone with was running away from me in the grocery store the next day, and I would start to see people dodging down into classrooms when I was walking down through the hall of the school. Courtney and I talked so much about this. I called her crying and said, I am no good at this. I am no good at this. This isn't for me. And she said, stop. Breathe. She would coach me before I would get on the phone with people. I mean, to the point where I would physically call her and say, okay, I'm about ready to call Jen. And she would say, Heather, slow down your voice. Bring your voice almost down to a whisper. Ask questions. Wait for the response, because I would ask the questions and go right in with what I thought the answer should be. Do that. Give a tidbit of information and then ask another question. This is about you finding out about them, not you selling them something. Nobody wants to be sold anything. You guys, if we go at this like a salesperson, we're not going to do great. My worst kind of nightmare is when someone comes in and says, I'd really love to join your team. I can sell ice to an Eskimo. Well, then I say, okay, well, we're going to have to work on that because that's not exactly how we do our business. And that's okay because we can train that, okay? So people don't like being pitched, they don't like being reeled in, they don't like being sold to, and we are on edge about that because of the last 20 or 30 years of businesses. And we are changing the face of what network marketing looks like, and we're doing it from an amazing, heartfelt, authentic, and legit way. And we are part of a grassroots effort to really change the face of the type of business that we're in. So I want you to think back to the trainings you guys have already heard for the last little while. Really, really different topics, but there's this common theme, and the common theme is conversation. Do you remember, the whole idea of wanting to ask questions to people, dig in, getting to know them? That's such a huge part of our value system in this company. We value relationships, we value trust, we value integrity. So the main way to build relationships and trust is to ask questions. So here's my phrase, write this down. The favorite phrase that you can write and hang up on a sticky note next to your phone or next to your desk is this: get your ask in gear. Get your ask in gear. A-S-K, I'm not saying something naughty. Remember that phrase. Remember to ask people questions. Dig into them. Figure out where you need to take the conversation. So I'm going to share with you guys today 3 strategies that are some of the ones that I've learned and the ones that are my go-tos. The first one that you need to know is that people enjoy when other people pay attention to them. Whether you're outgoing or whether you're shy, people really just like other people to ask them questions. They like to share about their life, their interests, their hobbies, what they're passionate about. It's not only that, but not only do people like to have people ask them questions, but they like to be heard. And this happens really well in one-on-one and small group settings. It can happen fantastic on a connect call, on a 3-way connect call. It's about hearing people. It's not about going right in with what we've got. It's not about that at all, For a little bit at the beginning when I was learning this skill, it felt so uncomfortable for me that it almost felt manipulative. I'm going to be really honest about that. I felt like I was trying to lead the conversation a direction, but when I stopped and I sat back and I thought, gosh, I really am interested in people. It helped me so much more. I wasn't doing this for an end outcome. I wasn't doing this because I wanted to connect. I wanted to convince anyone to take Juice Plus. We don't have to convince people to take Juice Plus. Juice Plus convinces people. All we have to do is have the relationship to connect them to what Juice Plus is, to our product and our business. So the eye contact we have, paying attention to their answers, taking in their information, it's so crucial. You want to validate people and you want to build trust. I'm going to give you an example of this that I learned from 2 of my 3 daughters had the same kindergarten and first grade teacher. Her name is Debbie Thrasher, and she's an incredible teacher. And I learned this by observing in her classroom years ago. She asked a question to the class, and they raised their hand like kindergartners, ooh, 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 pick me, pick me, pick me. And she picked one child, and while that child was sharing something so heartfelt, all the rest of the kids in the class were like this, ooh, 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 I'm next, I'm next, I'm next. And in the middle of little Johnny talking, she said, excuse me, Johnny. And she looked at everybody else and she said, you know what, boys and girls? Johnny's telling us something so important to him, but what I'm seeing is your hands raised. And with your hands raised, I don't think your ears can be turned on. So if your hand is raised, I think you're worried about what you want to share next, instead of focusing on this really important piece of information that he's sharing with us. So I'm going to ask you to put your hands down and listen. And then when he's done, you can put your hands up again. And the attention that turned toward that child made such a difference. It validated him. It made his information really important. And it truly was about something that happened on the playground. But, it's that whole idea of what's important to a 5-year-old. So if we're constantly thinking about the next thing we're going to ask, what we want to slide in, what that research was at the University of Graz in Austria, and how much energy we have after we added in water and sleep and Juice Plus and did the Shred 10. If we're constantly thinking about that, we're going to miss really important keys that we can then use to connect back with that person. So that's the first point. Pay attention. The second point is this: permission is key. Don't assume that whoever you're talking to wants to hear about our amazing product and our business opportunity. We think it's amazing. We think it's incredible. After what we heard last night and this morning, you guys, if your belief is not at a 10, figure out a way to do it. You do not need to wait for it to come to you. Seek it out. Go to things. Build your belief. But the point of that is we know what we've got is amazing. We know our business opportunity is incredible. I can tell you there's no way in the world I ever thought my family would have full corporate benefits. Ever. We've got that now. I've got 3 kids going to college. We've got tuition support. Hello. What we have rocks. But I'll tell you something. People don't know that. And they're not always that interested in that. Until you hear their hearts, you don't even have the right to bombard them with any information that they're not expecting. If you're setting yourself up on a Freeway Connect call with your upline or sponsor, and you're putting them on the phone, if that person you're getting on the phone with doesn't know that you're going on to talk about Juice Plus, you're doing a huge disservice to not only that person you're about to share with, but also your upline support and sponsor who are taking time out to share about Juice Plus. I one time had somebody put me on the phone with someone, a New Yorker, and listen, my husband's from Long Island. I totally get New York. Please don't think I don't. But this girl was edgy, and she put me on the phone with her, and the girl we were talking to had no idea that the Juice Plus distributor had me on the line. She didn't tell her, and I forgot to check with her beforehand. I figured she knew that, so always check. And it was about 5-10 minutes into the conversation. I was listening. I was so uncomfortable. And then she said, oh, by the way, I have my friend Heather on the line. And boy, did I feel uncomfortable. We didn't have permission for that. We didn't have the right. And that girl got angry, and that did not turn into a pleasant conversation about Juice Plus. So please be mindful of that. We have to have permission. And you have to listen to people's responses. After asking questions to people, what I usually ask is truly the permission to share my story. And what I say is, you know what? You've really shared some incredible information with me just now, and you've been really, really vulnerable. I think some of the experiences that I've had might be really valuable to you. Do I have permission to share my story with you? And people just say, yeah, of course, because I've given them the respect to hear what they've got going on in their life. And I've led them with questions that I think can help me figure out how Juice Plus may fit into their life. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So Adam Westwick, who is a huge over 100 Club NMD with his wife Kira in Australia, said a sentence at conference last spring in Phoenix that I will never forget. He said, we don't have permission to share Juice Plus, either the product or the business opportunity, until we've asked people at least 3 to 5 questions. Then we have built trust, and we can start to build a relationship. So once you share with somebody, those people will become your customers. They will become your teammate. Those questions, that sharing, those touches, those check-ins that we do as our customer care, that's what creates strong relationships. All right, so number 3, let's talk about the 3 different types of questions that you ask. This has been really fun for me to learn. I practice everywhere. What do you have to lose? I have conversations with people all over the place, and I'm interested in them. I ask people what they do. I ask people, about their families. I ask people that are strangers. I have a new teammate here, Tara. I just asked her some questions one night at a Women Inspiring Women event that I went to, and she riveted me with her story. And I'll tell you what, strangers will tell you anything. They really, really will. They really, really will. I have 3 kids. How many times did I find out I was pregnant, but I didn't want to tell my family yet? But I went to Walmart and people said, how are you today? And I would go, I'm pregnant. But I wasn't ready to tell my family. We tell people things who are strangers before we tell the people that sometimes we're really, really close with. So we really have nothing to lose by having conversations. If you're on the phone, if you're reconnecting with people or meeting up with somebody one-on-one, these conversations are a bit more intimate. So I want you to consider our 6 human needs. These are the needs that our business meets. And research shows that if you can meet 2 or 3 of these needs with people, they are going to stay with whatever it is. These human needs are contribution. We all have the need to contribute to society in one way or another. The second one is love and connection. I'm loving on my team that's here and I'm connecting with them so, so much. The third one is certainty. Certainty means that you get a paycheck. You have something you can count on. From somebody like me that came from massive scarcity mentality, the certainty of my Juice Plus paycheck rising incrementally or bigger every single month since I started is very, very important. People also need uncertainty. That means fun. We've got fun going on here, guys. And personal growth and significance. We all want to have personal growth. That's what this whole weekend is about. And significance. We all want to know that we matter and what we're doing is making a difference. So I ask people things that go along with that. Do you love your work as much as you do when you started? How did you get into this? What made you choose this as a career path? Do you love it? Does this work fill you up? Do you feel like your work is recognized in the market, in your workplace? Are you appreciated there? These are just regular questions that you really can integrate into conversation. It doesn't have to feel like an interview, but gosh, tell me about your family. What's it like to be an only child? What's it like to have 10 siblings? What's it like to have 9 kids? Just ask questions and be interested. I also want you to look for information, opportunities to have conversations that you just strike up out in the wild. Strike up at the playground, strike up at the store. And, my favorite places are this: the healthy eating section and recipe section of Barnes & Noble or a bookstore. I love browsing in there because I'm a foodie and I love to cook. And I love to have conversations with people and go, oh my gosh, have you read this one? You will be surprised how many people start up conversations with you and you're blowing them off. Think about how many times someone says hello. They might just be looking for a connection. I can't tell you how many conversations I blew off with people over the years. I just had my blinders on and I wanted my lettuce and my cucumbers and my whatever I was getting at the grocery store. But think about who you meet up with at Target, in the activewear section at Marshall's. If you're shopping for a dress for the Eltons and you're at Nordstrom or Macy's, that's a great place. The people that wait on you at stores. I have a meeting with the girl who sold me my shoes to wear on stage for my NMD speech next week. And that's really exciting. It's just a conversation. I said, I'm getting ready to give this big fat speech in front of thousands and thousands of people. And she said, what do you do? And I said, I help people get healthy. How do you like this job? I took one little thing and I threw it back at her. It's like playing ping pong. So you'd be surprised how many people start conversations. I'm going to share one quick example of this that sticks out in my head, and I don't know the story really, really well, but I believe there was a conversation that happened between two of our amazing NMDs, Catherine Lee and Deanna Christofferson. And that meeting happened, I believe, over broccoli in the produce section. One was an NMD already, one had never heard of Juice Plus, and now we have 2 humongous NMDs in this company that all started from a conversation in the grocery store. So for these people, just makes sense. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you when we go to our lunch break. I'm going to say this before we go to lunch. If we don't have Bobby and Lisa, okay, good. So here's what I want you to do during lunchtime. I'm going to challenge you to have a mock conversation with a partner, okay? I want you to make believe they're a stranger. And I bet you can start with a question that I give you, and within 5 questions, you're going to be able to spin that conversation around to either health or income. We all have difficulty in those areas. That can be your springboard. I learned this from Kim Dalzell, who did a training in Charlotte about 5 years ago. She and I are not even really close. We don't even really know each other. I think we're friends on Facebook, but this stood out to me. And I got partnered up with a complete stranger, and her name is Tammy Lannison, who's one of our organizers, and the question we had to start with was, where'd you get that dog? That was the question we were told to start with. And within 5 questions, we were able to pull it around to Juice Plus. Tammy said, where'd you get that dog? And I said, we got him from a breeder in South Carolina. It was the truth. I was thinking of my own dog. And she said, did you ever consider a rescue pet? And I said, no, because my husband has really bad allergies, and we had to get a poodle blend that was hypoallergenic. Boom, there it was. There was the health blend. It was 3 questions. So I'm going to ask you guys to do that when we go to lunch. I want you to pick a partner, and here's the 2 questions. One partner take one question, one partner take the other. The first one is, where's your favorite place to take a vacation? All right, I want you to work that through. The second partner, when it's your turn to go, the question is, where'd you get those shoes? Those are the two questions. So when it comes time for lunch, we flip the schedule around, but when it comes time for lunch, I'm going to challenge you to enjoy a conversation with somebody, use that and see if you can wind it around to either income or health, and use that as your springboard into the most important 7 words in our business, which are, have you ever heard of Juice Plus? The most important word you'll ever say. Have you ever heard of Juice Plus? And then you can springboard right off from there. All right, I'm going to finish up quick so that we can move on. I am so glad that you guys allowed me the opportunity to share this with you today. Please take these lessons and run. All right, guys.
Awesome. Okay.